Hi everyone, and it's RBM Roundtable time, the time where we get to catch up with all of the staff that are heading around working for Bowls Australia all around the country. Today I'm joined firstly by the Regional Bowls Manager for the Riverina and Western New South Wales area in Dave Inglis. How are you, Dave?
Very good, thank you, Clive.
Very well, and also our man in South Australia. Now, he's part of the RBM team, but he's actually called the Participation and Programs Manager in South Australia, James Wilson. G'day, James.
G'day, Clive.
Well, look, let's guys give us the rundown initially on how you got into the role and how long you've been in the role. Dave, your area that you cover and how long you've been in the role.
Riverina and Western New South Wales, which covers a fair bit of territory, right down to the Victorian border. Out to Cobar, Burke in the west, up around the Dubbo area, all in around Central West, and over to Orange, Bathurst. Then you sort of come back down a bit to around Borrera, those sort of areas in Western New South Wales again. So yeah, quite a lot of territory. But you know, that's what we do, and I love doing it. So yeah, I've been in the role a bit over 6 years now. Bit of a background in banking and finance before that, and then this role come up, and I thought, geez, you know, fancy being able to do a job that you love and it's your sport as well. So yeah, I just love it. It's great to be able to do something that you like.
Summed it up beautifully, mate. And James, yourself?
Yeah, thanks. I've been in the role for a bit over a year now. Started September last year, so enjoying it immensely. Got into the role through apparel. I was working with BLK doing the shirts and bits and pieces, and then made the jump across to one of BLK's partners in Bowls Australia, of course. But yeah, love every minute. And as Dave said, it's just so diverse. You get to cover a wide span of territory. For me, South Australia is my territory, so there's probably no description of where the borders are. Really, it's sort of just the whole lot. There's 213 clubs here, so I'm lucky to be a bit more office space than the other boys, so I can get to a few more of them, which is nice. And then we've got 3 clubs interstate. So we've got one just over the other side of the border in Vic, and then 2 over in Broken Hill as well. So yeah, a little bit of a varied patch.
Yeah, and a slightly different role in South Australia. You more hands-on with Bowls South Australia as well.
Correct. Yeah, in events, office work, and just across the processes of what they're doing at a state level, which gives a real intimate knowledge that I can actually help the clubs at sort of kind of 2 or 3 levels rather than just probably coming from one.
Fantastic. Look, let's delve into some of the Bowls Australia programs in your area. Dave, I know sporting schools and aligned with rookie rollers has been a great interest for you, and you've had some wonderful success, particularly in country areas.
Yeah, look, I have, Clive. It's really a passion of mine going to the schools. I thoroughly enjoy it. Look, and it seems to me that the smaller country schools are the ones that really embrace it, and they get a lot more enjoyment out of it. They traditionally they've got smaller enrolments at the schools, so you can really get in with the more one-on-one. And yeah, look, they absolutely love it. A lot of the smaller country towns, the bowling club is not far from the local school. So what we try and do is if it's a 4 or 6 week program, we might do a few, programs at the actual school itself, and then say, look, why don't we head down to the bowling club, and the kids can experience an actual grass green, and that's great, because bowls is one of the the sports now that the kids can just get into. They haven't got to be athletically minded like footy, cricket, and all such. It just opens up a lot of areas for them, and yeah, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. A lot of feedback from the teachers after the program's finished that the kids loved it. So, yep, really good.
I think the key is the involvement, isn't it? That all the kids get involved when you run a bowls program. No one's left off sitting to the side, Dave.
Yeah, they do, and look, the look on the kids' faces, some of them struggle a bit with the different activities, but you just persevere with them and you talk to them, and then all of a sudden, if it's a scoring wedge, they might get a 50 or a 20, and you just see their face light up, and all of a sudden they're re-engaged, and off they go again. So, it's thoroughly enjoyable. It really is.
And James, you've had some wonderful success in the, as you said, you've been in the role for 12 months, and you've seen those numbers of schools really lift in terms of the schools getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely, Clive. And as sort of Dave touched on, it's probably one of our favourite parts of the role, getting out in schools and Similar in South Australia, most of the schools are actually country schools that get involved and have a big connection with the local club and actually have the local club come in to coach it. So, yeah, indeed, last year in our state, we had 13 schools go through the Rookie Rollers program, or as it was, Junior Jack Attack at the time. Last year before I started, and then this year we've actually seen 32 schools go through the program. So for us, it's been sort of, probably just shy of triple the numbers, which has been obviously really promising and really really exciting for us in South Australia to see the sport growing in the school-based participation area.
So certainly, if you're watching this and you're interested in getting your local school involved, contact your local regional bowls manager. You can get the details of all the RBMs via bowls.com.au and get in touch, and they can talk to you and work out how you can get your local school involved. Of course, if you're from a school, then please get in touch, and we'd be more than happy to help get a program running at your school. James, roll back the clock. Another program that I guess it's the other end of the scale, isn't it? We've gone from the junior scale to the more senior end of the scale, and another program that you've had wonderful success with in South Australia.
Mate, you couldn't have had better. It's always strange when you're booking a kindergarten session or a reception year session, and then you're speaking to a retirement village about booking a program with their participants. It's quite amazing. But yeah, roll at the clock for those that aren't across it is an active aging program that all the RBMs are across, and it's aimed at people over the age of 65 to get back into some exercise and educated around health and wellness. We've loved it. It's been adopted very strongly here in SA, and we've had a number of clubs run the program of late. And this term at the moment, well, as of today, we've got 4 clubs running it in South Australia this week alone. And it's always great to get a call from the club afterwards to tell us all about what one person might have said, or that the group had gone out for coffee, or they joined the club as social bowlers and things of the sort. So clubs get involved, and it doesn't cost the club to sort of put the show on, and we pay for the trainers and bits and pieces and all the equipment. So clubs are finding it as a great opportunity to make use of their facilities when otherwise would be closed. For example, one of my club today is doing it at 10 o'clock on a Friday when they generally wouldn't be open.
Dave, COVID continues to be a hot issue worldwide and still in Australia, of course. It's provided clubs with a lot of downtime, which I suppose couldn't be looked at a negative way, but you've had some clubs look at it in a very positive way to take the opportunity to get some things done.
Yeah, look, well and truly, Clive. Look, whilst we all know COVID's been, very bad for our clubs, I've come across a lot of clubs that are using that downtime simply because they haven't got traffic inside, to do refurbishments inside, and look, even outside the club as well. Look, a very good example was Parks Bowling and Sports Club. They recently had a lot of working bees. They repainted their lighting towers. They upgraded furniture outside. They painted toilets outside. And look, I know they did have a few posts on Facebook, and actually going there and physically seeing it, it was really something to see. Magnificent. And clubs redoing, as I said, carpet inside, painting. A great opportunity while you haven't got the people in the club to just go in and do these sort of things. So that's been a positive, I suppose, in a lot of negative things happening.
Yeah, well, hopefully we continue to be on the path out, and clubs can start getting back to normal, albeit for the ones that have taken the opportunity in a brighter environment if they've taken those chances. James, you've had some success in South Australia with some club development days.
Yeah, indeed, Clive. We have. We've run a couple over the last few months. Sort of all kicked off back in March. We sort of started them before COVID hit, and then since then we've run a couple. And the idea is to get around to particular regions, go to a central club in that region, and invite 10 or 15 or 20 clubs to come down and listen to a seminar, and it's an interactive workshop where they can share ideas with the other clubs of things that they're doing in their town or in their area that's working for their club, which might give some ideas and bits and pieces. And for example, some clubs might talk about they're struggling with a particular policy around hiring their club for functions, or struggling about getting people involved in their Jack Attack program, and other clubs can help them brainstorm ideas, whilst we can also promote our programs and let them know what support we are here to give. Because a lot of the clubs, if they are changing board, won't always know what their old regional bowls managers are here for. So it's a great opportunity to network and brainstorm.
You touched on Jack Attack there. It's another program that's been seeing some success in South Australia, probably for the first time, actually. We're seeing a few programs really getting off the ground now.
Yeah, absolutely. Raving success. And one club in particular messaged me yesterday, messaged me the other day and said, oh, look, we got every team coming back in the new year. They've loved it, and we've signed new members out of it. So our clubs are loving it, and it's a great format. With such a strong hold of night out in South Australia, it's really difficult for a new format of social bowls to come in. But we're finding a lot of our clubs are using it almost as a pathway into night out, which is a bit of a longer offering. But yeah, it's been fantastic here.
And Dave, how are you seeing your clubs embracing the new formats?
Yeah, look, very, very good. I think the hardest part is just getting them to want to try something different. That seems to be a big issue. But look, once they try it and they see the success with it, you can only move forward. It's the old saying, look, just try it. It's not going to cost you anything. Just something different, and the shorter formats of the game are definitely where bowls is heading. People's time, as we know, is a lot more valuable now. So these shorter formats fit in with other sports as well that are doing the same thing. So we've just got to move with them and embrace it.
Of course, if you're looking for more information on Jack Attack, you can head to jackattack.com.au, and that will take you to the Bowls Australia site and give you all the details on Jack Attack. Speaking of short formats, BPL Cup, guys, it's there's huge opportunities out there at the moment. And Dave, give us the rundown of where BPL Cup is at in your area at the moment.
Look, we had run a successful program at the Rules Club in Wagga, another one at Orange City Bowling Club, and another one at Cowra Bowling Club. The regional finals are on the 13th of this month at Cowra, so all steam ahead for that. Feedback's been very good in those events. So as we said, something different, everybody embraces it.
Might have heard that you might still be going in one of those regional finals as well, Dave.
Yeah, look, I've got a very good team behind me, Clive.
Well, I'm still going as well, mate, so we might see each other at national finals. Who knows? James, South Australia's had your finals. You actually know your two teams that have qualified for the national finals for BPL Cup?
Indeed, yeah. Ours has been run and won, as I say. So our state finalists were West Lakes and Henley Bowling Club. And there's certainly some handy bowlers coming in there, including a young Craig Mills, who's ranked, I think, number 5 in Australia. He's in one of those sides. So, and yeah, a lot of the other guys, they're pinching themselves at the chance to go and play at a national finals and play against some of the best bowlers from around the country.
I think that's the thing with the two teams that have come through from South Australia. They're quite contrasting. I mean, you talk about Craig, who's got quite a pedigree in bowls, and then you've got some guys that perhaps haven't had those opportunities in the past.
Absolutely, and they're ringing you all the time, asking just the little logistics, the little things they might get to do when they're there, and they just can't wait to meet everybody and get involved. It's really rewarding to see that sort of team go through.
All righty. Guys, thank you very much for your time. You're doing great work out there. It's been hard work bringing this one together. We've had a few shots at it. We've been battling internet and all sorts of things to bring you this episode of the RBM Roundtable. So, guys, thanks for your time. And Dave, thank you.
No, it's a pleasure.
Excellent. And James, thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, Clive.
We'll catch you next time we visit the RBM Roundtable.